What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Books and Hoops podcast. I'm your host, Brendan. We're on episode 4, which is super crazy and super insane, but thank you so far for all the people who have shown love and continue to show love to the pod while we're getting started. This week, I want to dive into 15. I want to give you 15 reasons why college basketball is a lot better than the NBA. So if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you rate the show, share it with your friends, like it up. And if you're watching from YouTube, Spotify, Apple Pod, whatever, we love and appreciate you no matter what over here at Books and Hoops. So let's dive into it. Reason number one, and before we dive into it, actually one more thing. This is just my opinion. This is just my subjective opinion. So regardless of what I say, if you disagree with it, just keep that in mind that we're all entitled to our own opinions, and we don't have to be mean or spread hate on social media just because you disagree with something maybe I say or didn't say. So let's dive back into it. Reason number one is there's just more action. Like in the NBA, you know on a nightly basis who can beat who. Like especially if it's like the Thunder going against the Wizards, like 95% of the time the Thunder are gonna win. But in college basketball, like pre-transfer portal, you could be an unranked team. Like Wisconsin just beat Michigan, and Wisconsin's not no scrub, but on a nightly basis for college hoops, like anybody can beat anybody, and nobody is underlooked or overlooked, which is so phenomenal and so amazing and just so charismatic. Like it's just amazing right now. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is the college players care more. Like you can just tell, like they want it more. They want to be out there. Sometimes in the NBA, guys take rest or they don't care or whatever the reason may be. But in college, like they actually care and they actually want to be out there, and it shows. Like on a nightly basis, guys are there. It's insane. Number three is college. There's so many different teams. There's like 300 teams in college basketball, where there's only 30 in the NBA, and I think that just having different spread outs, like being able to root for your team. Like I'm from Connecticut, so I tend to root for teams like Central Connecticut State University and UConn, but I also root for Dartmouth because I had a family member go there, and I've also root for Michigan just because, well, I'm a Michigan football fan. So there's so many different roots, and there's so many different teams to root for on a nightly basis in college basketball, and it's just, I mean, it's always that like, oh, well, no, I guess I'll save my next point for reason number 4. Reason number 4 being there's always that one no-name guy, like that one guy that just comes out of nowhere and drops 50 points on one of the best teams in the country, and you're just like, how did that happen? Like they just put the game on display. They put the game on a pedestal. Like so crazy, bro. Like yeah, so crazy. Reason number 5 is everybody gets into, depending on what conference you play in, everybody gets to make their conference tournament and has a chance to go to the playoffs. And I know what you're gonna say, like, oh, it's different in the NBA because they're playing, like they get the opportunity to clinch. But in college basketball, like it's all about the right timing. Like we've seen some amazing Cinderellas the last couple of seasons. We've seen Warrior Chicago go on Cinderellas. We've seen Ivy League Princeton go on Cinderellas. Like they're in college, it's just Abilene Christian. Like every single night in college basketball, in the tournament, in the conference tournaments, there's always that one team that should not make it to the second round of their tournament, but they always do. And that is the nature of college basketball. And it is just so fun to watch. Now, if you ask me now, and Brett and I did cover this on episode 3, the transfer portal has ruined a lot of things. But college basketball to itself is still phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I love the NBA. Like, don't get me wrong. I do love the NBA, but there's just something about college basketball that just hits different, and it just hits so much more different than anything else before. Like hindsight being 20, hindsight being 2026. Reason number 6 why college basketball is better is it's the coaching, man. Like, I feel like a lot of these college coaches, like, especially if like you're a mid-major like coach, you have the opportunity to win. If you win 2, 3, maybe 4 games in March, you immediately go from here to being here in a span of minutes just because teams want coaches who are good at recruiting. They want coaches who are good at getting players hyped up. Like, they want coaches who can make guys want to be there and not want to be there. Like, college basketball may be cooked, but it's going in the right direction with conference realignment and everything. Like, the Big Ten's got 18 teams, like, and 4 of them play in California. So, I mean, well, 4 of them play out west, and but it's just every night, it's just a phenomenal. But I'm not saying that the NBA is bad. Like, by all means, like, the NBA is great. I've been following the NBA like since elementary school, but college basketball just hits different, man. Like, March Madness just hits different. So that gives me to my next point. Reason number 7 is the NCAA tournament is the best sports tournament in the history of sports, hands down. Like, hands down, you got 68 teams making the tournament every year. And you always want to root for that Cinderella. Like, you always want to root for teams like Dartmouth for Yale or Princeton to come out and perform rather than the boobards like UConn, Nova, UNC, Duke, Kentucky. Like, the teams that always win. Like, you always want to pick the underdogs in March Madness, but you always know that they're never going to win. But you always want to root for them because the story is so fun. Like, it is so fun. Like, it's just phenomenal. Like, it's like nothing beats it. Like, nothing beats it, and it is truly, truly one of the best ever, hands down, in my opinion. Reason number 9 why college basketball 8 time lost track of overall. But the next reason is simply because of the fact that I think the NBA has kind of been boring, and more people are tuning into college hoops, are enjoying college hoops, and there's just so many different teams to watch. Like, the Green Bay Phoenix last year, one of the worst teams in the league, head coach, one of the worst teams ever. And last year, the head coach is literally a podcaster, and they're still doing their thing. So it's crazy. Plus, in the NBA, okay, so my next reason of why college basketball is better is in the NBA, guys constantly sit out due to load management, due to injury, due to just like, there's been dudes that just sit out entire seasons because they want more money. Where in college basketball, like, prior to the transfer portal, like, you had to play. Like, you couldn't just sit out just because you wanted more money, or you couldn't sit out just because of the fact that you wanted. No, like, you had to play in college basketball. And in the NBA, it's just like dudes sit too many games out. Like, they don't want to like they want out. Like, if they don't like John Morant, for example, John Morant has always been telling people within the Grizzlies organization that he doesn't want to be there. And I feel like that, and there's just so much cancer culture players, toxic players in the NBA nowadays, and it's just like, you don't hear about that in college basketball. Like, you don't. And I think that it's just completely there's you don't see that in college hoops, and it shows. But yeah, I mean, the NBA is kind of just better. Like, it's a big boy league, but I definitely think that college basketball has definitely has more fandom and more fans within the NBA range. But you guys let me know, are you more of an NBA type of player, NBA type of fan, or are you a college hoops fan? I lean more towards the college hoops range, but you all let me know, and you let me know what you all think, and yeah. So the next topic I wanted to go over is the fact that what the Mavericks should do with Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis, we've seen this every season with Anthony Davis where he gets injured, sometimes multiple times a year, and at this point, the Mavericks wanted to move Anthony Davis at this year's trade deadline, but because of the finger injury, it might not be likely that they're going to be able to. Here's what the Mavericks need to do with Anthony Davis. Finish the season out with Anthony Davis this season, and then go into the offseason with the idea that you have to trade Anthony Davis because this dude, his bones, are made of sandpaper. I told Brett this. I've had conversations with family members and other friends about this. Like, his bones are made of sandpaper. Anthony Davis, that's the number one the Mavericks need to do. Step number two, the Mavericks need to figure out. Kyrie's great, but Cooper Flag is obviously going to be the centerpiece of that Mavericks offense. So the question for the next question the next thing I have for the Mavericks is, does Kyrie allow Kyrie, work something out with Kyrie and basically know, like, hey, Cooper is our guy, but we're okay with sliding over. If you're okay with sliding over, then we will keep you. But figure out the direction you want to go, and if you're not going to compete, then trade Kyrie Irving. But if you're gonna compete, then figure out a direction and stick with that direction. All right, guys, that is going to wrap up this second episode of the week. Very short episode, but make sure you let me know down. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment this. Let me know down below. Are you more of an NBA guy or NBA girly or college basketball fan? Let me know what you think about the NBA and college basketball, and is the transfer portal cooked? And before we end this week's episode, we are going to dive into this week's Bible verse, which is Luke 54. Them seizing him, they led him away, and took him into house of high priest. Peter followed at a distance. I love you all. New episode coming out soon with Brett. Stay tuned to that. Thank you all so much. Podcast to BB TikTok, Brandon on Instagram, and see you guys soon. Peace.